You want to know how to track form submissions in Airtable using Zapier. That is exactly what we are going to set up right now. So I have my web browser open and I am typing in zapier.com. Once the dashboard loads, I am already signed in. If you have not logged in yet, do that now and wait for this same screen. In the upper left corner, there is a big Create button. Click that and choose Zaps. The Zap editor opens and you are looking at a blank trigger step. Every Zap starts with this trigger, which is the event that kicks things off, in our case, a new form submission. Click the Trigger Step search box and type the name of your form tool. I am using Typeform today, but this works the same for Google Forms, Jotform, HubSpot Forms, Facebook Lead Ads, whatever you have. You need to have that app already connected to your Zapier account before you can select it. If it is not connected yet, Zapier will prompt you to log in, which I would do now while we are here because skipping it now causes a headache later when the test fails and you cannot figure out why. Select your app, then choose the trigger event. For almost every form tool, it will be something like New Form Submission or New Entry. I am picking New Form Submission. Click Continue. Zapier shows my connected account. If yours is not there, connect a new account right now. Do not proceed with a mismatched account. I have seen people grab the wrong workspace and then nothing matches. Select the correct account. Click Continue again. Now pick the specific form from the dropdown. I am choosing my contact form. This is the form Zapier will watch. Click Continue. The screen lands on the Test Trigger section. Click Test Trigger. Zapier looks for a recent submission. If it comes back empty because you have not had any submissions yet, open a new tab, submit the form with real-looking sample data, first name, last name, email, maybe a message, then come back and click Test Trigger again. Now the test data shows up right here. Look through the fields. You should see name, email, phone, company, whatever your form collects. I always verify that the email field is actually populated because a missing email will break any follow-up action you add later. If a field you swore was on the form is missing here, go back and check that you submitted a complete test entry. This is where you catch that before you waste time mapping. Next, click the plus button right below the trigger, search for Airtable. Select Airtable. For the action event, pick Create Record. That is the one that adds a new row to your table. Click Continue. Now we connect the Airtable account. Sign in if prompted and authorize Zapier to access your base. I already have mine linked. Select your Airtable account from the dropdown. Click Continue. Here is the part where prep matters. You need to already have your Airtable base and table built with columns set up for the fields you plan to map. I have a base called Marketing Leads and inside it a table called Form Submissions. So I choose the workspace, then the base, then the table from the 3 dropdowns. Click Continue. Now we map the fields. This is where most people rush and then wonder why data lands in the wrong column. On the left, you see the data from your form trigger. On the right are your Airtable fields. I am going to match name to name, email to email, phone to phone number, and so on. For a text-based form like this, I map the message field into a notes column I already created. For the submission date, I am mapping the trigger's submission date to my date submitted field in Airtable, and I double-check that the Airtable field is a date type, not a single-line text, because mismatched types will cause the test step to error out silently or just leave the cell blank. One more thing I always do, add a lead source field. I set it as a static value, literally typing in Typeform, because later you might have multiple forms, and you will want to know which one generated which record. I also set a status field to new as a default. These little extras save hours of manual cleanup. If your table has extra columns like assigned to or priority, map them in now too, even if you just set a static placeholder. I would rather populate something now than have to come back and tweak a publish Zap. Now click Test Step. Wait a moment. Zapier creates a sample record in your Airtable base. Leave this screen open, switch over to Airtable, and open the table. You should see a brand new row with all your test data sitting right there. Check that drop-downs like status show the right selection and that the date displays correctly. If something is off, come back here, adjust the mapping, and test again. I have had to do that 3 times once because the date format was wrong. That field will reject values silently. Optionally, you can add a filter between the trigger and the action if you only want certain submissions to make it to Airtable. Click the plus icon between them, add filter by Zapier. I set a condition like country exactly matches Canada or budget greater than 5,000, so only qualified leads get added. That keeps your base clean from the start.
Now we are ready to publish.
But I always review the workflow once more. Trigger pulls the right form, the Airtable action points to the right table, field mappings are accurate, filter is correct if added. Then at the top, give your Zap a descriptive name. I call mine Typeform Contact to Airtable Leads. Click Publish. Your automation is now live. Let's run a final live test. I am opening my form again, entering a new test submission with obviously fake data and submitting. Then I head back into Airtable and refresh the table. The new record appears within a few seconds. Everything matches. A couple of quick things to keep this running smoothly. First, if you ever add new fields to your form, you will need to come back into this Zap, refresh the trigger fields, and remap them. Zapier does not do that automatically. I learned that the hard way. Second, keep an eye on your Zapier task usage. If you are on a limited plan, form submissions can burn through tasks faster than you think. You can see that in the Zap History tab. And if you want to go further, after the Airtable step, you can add a Slack notification or an email to the team, all within this same Zap. Just add another action below the Airtable record creation. If this got your automation running, hit that like button, subscribe for more hands-on walkthroughs, and leave a comment saying this was helpful. Comments are what push this to other people looking for the same thing.